Hello, I'm here for another video diary. I wasn't really able to make one last week. My mood just kind of continued to go downhill. It's kind of been on a downhill trend for the past month. I think I'm coming back up from it now, but I am honestly exhausted. I don't know, my eyes are so red. I tried to put eye drops in, but I don't know, I'm honestly so tired. I'm having a hard time sleeping, and even when I do sleep, it just does not feel restful at all. But the horrors may persist, but so do I. And in this video, I just want to talk about crochet. I want to talk about some things that I've made and some things that I want to make and things that I am currently working on. I wanted to talk about some other things too, but I think I will save that for another time because I think this will take up a lot of time anyways. So, first off, we have this. I made this around when I first started crocheting. It's just a slouchy beanie. I did add this brim on recently because I tried to avoid making magic rings when I first started, as I'm sure a lot of people do. So I started with a foundation chain down here and worked up. But when you do that, like the foundation chain, it doesn't have the elasticity that the rest of the hat does. Not that this one has like a lot of stretch, but like the foundation chain had no stretch at all. And so it felt like really tight around, but then like super loose at the same time because it's supposed to be like slouchy, right? So I decided to put this ribbed brim on, and it makes it so much more comfortable, and it fits on my head much better. So I'm happy about that. And when I started crocheting again within the past few years, because that was probably like at least 7 years ago that I made that. And then I was really into bucket hats when I started again. So I made this little guy. I will link the video to the tutorial that I followed because I remember very specifically. It was really easy to follow, and it was one of the bucket hats that I liked the look of the most. And the girl who does it is pretty informative, and I think she does a good job at it, like explaining things and going slow, like as a beginner. So yeah, so I did. Yeah, it's a little cat, and then I have this one, just my pride one. I made it like maybe 2 prides ago. It was just a rainbow yarn, and then I put a little hat heart, little heart on the top. And yeah, they're very comfy. I like them. I like bucket hats. I don't know why. And I showed this on my personal Instagram, though I am probably going to share this video on my personal Instagram as a way to try and conquer my fear of being seen and perceived and just being like embarrassed for existing and like having interests and stuff. So yeah, I made this around Christmas, and it's super cute. I really like it because I also decided to shave my head a little before that because my scalp is like really tender a lot of the time, and my hair hurts well, it's not my hair, it's like my follicle, like my scalp. And then also like I'm balding, or like my hair's thinning, and I don't know. I don't particularly care, but I'm not gonna have the hair just to have it, especially when it doesn't feel good. Like, it was always like tangled, even though I would like cut it regularly and all that kind of stuff, but it was always tangled. My hair was always like super greasy all the time, and then my scalp would hurt. And at least with my hair like this length, it hardly hurts, but then once it starts growing, then I'm like, okay, it's time to shave it. But the only thing, I don't really like wearing this a lot, mostly just because of this ruffle, this particular ruffle, because it comes like down here, and it's not super comfy. It's pretty bulky. And if you're wearing like a large jacket, I don't know, it's just not comfortable. I think it's perfect when it's like -20 out. But other than that, I don't really like wearing it. I'm really proud of it and I'm really happy with it. And I get a lot of compliments on it, which also makes me happy. But I don't wear it a whole lot because it also makes me like super hot, which I guess is good if since it's like the winter and it's really cold. But anyways, I also recently made this. My stomach made a funny noise. I don't know if you heard it. It's like a cropped sweater. I like the dangly things on the side. I like the bell sleeves. And the ruffles. And then like the turtleneck. I was gonna make a pattern for this, but I quickly realized that I don't really like making patterns and I don't really like doing a lot of math. So, and I mean, I really like this, but this yarn, not comfy. Like, it feels like my hands, it feels nice, but wearing it, I get super itchy. And that's not so nice. And I feel like I should mention that this is just something I bought. This is not, I did not make this. I bought it at like Walmart like eons ago. And I like making bags for my tarot cards and oracle cards. I have a lot of them. And I think it would be cool to try to do like some sort of tapestry ones with like crochet thread. I think it would also just be cool for like other types of cards, like Pokemon or stuff like that. But I've only really learned how to make like these particular ones, and making the tapestry ones might be a bit of a nightmare, but it could be worth it. Don't know until you try. So I would like to try that at some point. I also made this. It was a free pattern on Instagram. I will link it below. It was really cute. It's cinema roll. I just didn't put the face on because I am really good at not finishing things. Or I'll get to a certain point and I'm like, that's good enough. I want to do something else now. But it's really cute. They have cinema roll, Hello Kitty, and Pochaco. I was going to use it as like a hand thing. Like, I guess like an ergonomic hold. But it wasn't really working super well. And the only reason I really wanted that in the first place was because I sliced off a piece of my thumb with a mandolin. It's like basically fine now. It just like looks a little weird. It doesn't hurt though, and it doesn't feel funny anymore. But because it wasn't hurting a lot while I was healing, it hurt the most the first day. Like I could feel the pulse in my thumb. And then I had to go back like maybe 5 to 7 times. Probably wasn't 7. I would say it would be like 5 to 6. To get the dressing changed to make sure that it healed well. Because, well, when you have a injury like that, you can't exactly sew it shut. And I don't think putting like medical grade super glue does anything to that either. So they just put this like, it's called Aquacel. It's some kind of gauzy thing, but it has silver in it, and I guess silver is really good antibacterial, antimicrobial something or others. And yeah, I mean, it was really cute either way though, and it was pretty easy to follow, and maybe one day I'll put a face on it. And I have so many of these granny squares. Here's an individual one. My plan with these is to make a hood with like the cowl. Or maybe it's just called a cowl in general, but it has like a hood and then a thing that comes up. And I just thought it would be like cool because it would be lightweight, but it would still be something to cover my head. But I got distracted by this next thing. I got this fun pastel-y rainbow yarn that's sparkly. And then I decided that I was going to make a relaxagon. And I really hope that it ends up fitting. I'm not super good at measuring and figuring out sizes. Or somehow my measurements don't translate well into what I'm doing. I don't really know. I'm still learning. However, I'm excited to finish this whenever I decide to go back to it. I was just kind of tired of doing it because I frogged this a lot because I didn't really have a lot of this rainbow stuff. And I was going to buy more, and then I couldn't find more. And then I was like, maybe this is the universe's way of telling me not to buy more yarn and just use what you have. So that's why it has the white. But I'm really excited to finally finish it. It might be scratchy, to be honest. The rainbow stuff, because the silver, like, tinsely stuff is scratchy. And then also this white stuff is like double scratchy. So I'm not sure if I can fix that. Like, I don't know if like washing it would make it any better. I don't know. I'm making this flower thing. It doesn't look super great at the moment, to be honest. I also had to frog this a lot because I was getting really confused by the tutorial. I was gonna show the ball of yarn, but if you feel like looking it up, it is the Yarn Art Rose Garden. It's like white, pink, and orange, like pastel pink and orange, and it's really pretty. And I was gonna make a hood, but then I realized that it's like 1,000 meters, so I could probably make more. So I was thinking of making like a cropped sweater with bell sleeves. So then you could also just see like the gradient of color, because I feel like you're not going to see a lot of that in the hood. I'm probably not going to do the whole thing with the flower though, because that would probably take up too much yarn, and I don't want to get another ball. I don't want to say I don't want to buy it because that was gifted to me by my sister. So, and I think that's most of the stuff that I'm working on now. I know I also want to make something a little more interesting than what this is. This was just a really quick thing that I made because it used to have a band, excuse me, that would kind of hold it in place and also stop like this plastic part from like rubbing on your head, I guess. But it came really stretched, and so I ended up taking it off because it was just annoying me. But then I was like, I mean, I probably have a headset dead anyways because I wear this thing probably way too much. But if I don't have this on and I'm not like listening to music, I will lose my mind. So I want to do something cute. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't put a whole lot of thought into it because I'm really still thinking a lot about hats. I want to make a cinnamon roll bonnet. And I also want to make the little hat because Hello Kitty Island Adventure came out recently. Well, at least on PC and stuff. And Cinnamon Roll is like a mail courier, and he goes around and visits everyone, but he has this really cute hat that I want to put on top of the bonnet. And then since seeing more of Hello Kitty Island Adventure, I've learned more Sanrio characters, and there's one called My Sweet Piano, and she's like a little lamb, and I was thinking like doing a little popcorn stitch and like making a bonnet out of that would be super cute because I love Sanrio. I don't know a whole lot about it, and I also really want to make ball jointed dolls, but with crochet. I recently found a pattern. I found a few, but somewhere on like sites that I didn't feel super comfortable buying on because I didn't know much about it and it was in another language, and I'm like, I don't want to risk it. But I recently found one on Etsy and it's really cool, and I'm really excited to try it whenever I do try it because I used to make dolls like this. This is Matilda. She's made out of polymer clay. Her head is like a baby doll, like for children. I just put the polymer clay on top of it. And then her hair is made out of yarn. I mixed these two together, I think, because you can brush yarn to make it look like this, but it is like textured still. But I think it's still cute. The only thing is like her head, so heavy. And I don't know, like making the body, I didn't want to make it out of clay because that would use like a lot of clay. Then her thumb broke off. But I was thinking if I could like recreate her as a doll, like a crochet doll, that would be pretty cool because I could embroider this probably, or I could just paint it on. And I also want to make some characters from like video games and shows, specifically Echo and Jinx from Arcane, because those two characters live rent-free in my mind and Strame haunts me on a daily basis. So, and then also my favorite character from Overwatch, Mercy. I think it'd be really cool to make her. And there's some things that I want to make for people, but I don't want to go into that just in case they see this because I don't want to give it away. And yeah, it could be you, it could be not. Who knows? But yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to crochet, just not, I don't want to say not a lot of time because I have a lot of time, to be honest. It's more just making sure I don't overdo it, don't give myself carpal tunnel, don't hurt my body, and take breaks, because I know that there's been times where I would spend a really long time crocheting, and I use my hands a lot in general, and I need to take care of them better and just take care of my body and myself better, which I was doing pretty good at for a while, but I think it was in July I got COVID for the first time, and that kind of really like stopped me in my tracks for a decent amount of time. It also like made me honestly really mad because I actually worked in a hospital when the pandemic hit, and I was like in rooms with people who had COVID, and I never got it. And then I'm working at like a bakery, and this guy comes in and he's sick and he's wearing a mask. And I just kind of thought, like, why would you come to work if you had COVID? And I understand that if you need the money, you need the money, but at the same time, like I couldn't go to work. I felt so terrible. Like I couldn't really do anything without feeling like I was gonna fall over dead. And he like had his mask on, but then he came into the back, took his mask off, and coughed. It's like, isn't that the whole point of like wearing a mask? So that if you cough, it doesn't go everywhere. And it was like the next day too, I was like, something's not right. And yeah, and it wasn't getting much better. And I'm like, do I have COVID? And the answer was yes. So if you are sick and you can't stay home, like, please, for the love of God, wear a mask. Because it's not just you, you're like, it's suffering, like, you're gonna make other people suffer as well. And of course, maybe that's not your business or your problem, but a little empathy wouldn't kill you, to be honest. Anyways, I am pretty tired, and I'm losing focus, and my throat, it doesn't hurt, but it feels uncomfortable. My throat is just like so dry, and it doesn't really matter how much water I drink, it stays dry. So if you've watched this far, thank you for watching. I look forward to making more stuff and honestly just like talking more about stuff and just putting myself out into the world, because for a very long time I've just been afraid of existing and just embarrassed about being myself and embarrassed about just like taking up space and like even just having like interests. And I'm kind of just tired of running away from things and feeling like I need to hide certain parts of myself, or I need to start over, I need to do this, I need to do that. And it's like, just do it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day.